To control his empire, Montezuma had spies everywhere. He'd been tracking Cortez since the conquistador landed in Mexico. This sort of intel was critical. Montezuma needed to know every shifty move this conquistador made. Knowing the Spaniards had a great lust for gold and gems, Montezuma sent an emissary with gifts for Cortez. Montezuma hoped these gifts would pacify the conqueror. He pledged continued gifts on one condition: that Cortez stop his march and not come to the capital, Tenochtitlan. The emissary reported to Montezuma that Cortez was coming anyway. He told him that Cortez wished to pay tribute to the great Montezuma in person, and he would bring his army of conquistadors, their guns, their loud cannons, their immortal horses, and their demonic dogs. On paper, the Spaniards should not have been a threat to Montezuma. Cortez had an army of barely 500 men compared to hundreds of thousands of Aztec warriors. And yet, Montezuma feared Cortez. Cortez had arrived during a season when the Aztec calendar didn't allow Montezuma to wage or even prepare for war.
Because the Aztecs really went to war from early December until April during the dry season after the harvest. So he hadn't raised the armies, retrained the armies, stored all the food. He wasn't prepared for war.
In addition, Cortez had arrived during a sacred year on the Aztec calendar, the year when the Aztec god called Quetzalcoatl was supposed to return. An ancient prophecy foretold that the bearded and feathered god Quetzalcoatl would return on a ship from the east to take back and rule the land of the Aztecs. Cortez came from the east. He was bearded, and he arrived in early 1519, roughly equivalent to the year and date in the Aztec prophecy. Montezuma thought Cortez was a god. Montezuma thought he was immortal, that he couldn't be killed. That was a weapon even Cortez couldn't have dreamed of.
All right, we want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, rule well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there that's pushing his word in sincerity and truth. All right, the name of this lesson is going to be entitled
Quetzalcoatl, el Dios de los Aztecos.
Quetzalcoatl, the god of the Aztecs. All right, we're in the book, A Gazetteer of the Old and New Testaments, to which is added the Natural History of the Bible by William Fleming. All right, we're going to go to page 67. Okay, just gonna get to the point here and go down to the bottom. All right, now it says right here, these analogies are thus enumerated as conclusively proving that the Aborigines of South America are of Hebrew origin and the descendants of the 10 tribes. All right, now they're saying the Aborigines of South America, but they're also talking about Mexico too. Okay, even though it says South America. Their belief in the symbolical purification of water, the inhabitants of Yucatan gave to water, with which they baptized their children, the title of the water of regeneration. They also invoked him whom they believed to be the living and true power, of whom they made no graven image. They used circumcision. They expected a Messiah. All right, so that's the point right there. And see, when you read this gazetteer, all right, page 67, they're talking about mainly the Mexicans and the Peruvians, you know, proving that they are the Israelites. So the point is that they expected a Messiah. Okay, that's the whole point. All right, we're going to shift gears and go to another book, because scriptures say we prove all things. You know, and it says Mysteries of Ancient South America. All right, and this book is by Harold T. Wilkins. You know, it's a book that we bring out a lot, but it brings home the point. This is on page 108, and it says Quetzalcoatl was the Jesus of old Mexico and Central America. All right, so Quetzalcoatl was the Messiah. All right, and the Messiah's name isn't Jesus, his name is Yahushua. All right, You know, so that's the point. And all the different, you know, stories, you know, that the so-called Christians, the Spaniards, the conquistadors brought about whom the world calls Jesus Christ, the different stories that they brought to the Americas to colonize the Americas, to enslave the native peoples with their belief. You know, a lot of those different, you know, how can I put it? Basically different stories our people already knew about, because they already knew about the Lord. Okay, so, you know, based off them already believing in the Lord, it was, you know, easy for the Spaniards, for the conquistadors to enslave them, because our people, you know, believed in the Messiah already. And they called him by the name Quetzalcoatl. You know, so when the Spaniards came to the Americas, you know, in particular, we're talking about Mexico. When they came to Mexico, you know, our people actually thought that it was the Messiah coming back, you know, because, you know, in their legend, it says how the Lord will come back on ships, you know, even though it wasn't talking about, you know, ships that sail on the water. You know, according to the prophecy, the Lord will come back in the sky, you know, and what the world refers to as UFOs. All right. But the point is that it says Quetzalcoatl was the Jesus of old Mexico and Central America.
Oye, ¿por qué para nuestra gente que habla español, voy a hablar un rato acerca de este libro? Porque aquí Quetzalcoatl era el Jesús o el Salvador de la antigua México y Centroamérica, ¿ok? Y este es el punto. Porque durante la historia de nuestra gente había un Dios o un Salvador siempre, y porque nadie es nuevo, porque esta información aquí es nada nueva para nosotros y para ustedes también.
Kind, so that's the point, you know. Quetzalcoatl was the Jesus of old Mexico and Central America. All right. So how did our people know about him if he isn't real? Okay. You know, for you people out there that don't believe in the Messiah. Okay. You non-messianic Israelites out there. Okay. Now we're in the book here called Ancient America, the Great Ages of Man, Ancient America. All right. And this is a pretty good book, you know, for brothers that can get it, because it goes into this history. All right. Once again, we're just going to get to the point. All right. This is on page 139. All right. In chapter 7, Horsemen from the Sea. Okay. I'm going to read the first 3 paragraphs. All right. It says, in 1519, Montezuma II, the Aztec emperor, was about 40 years old and had ruled with a firm and skillful hand for 17 years. But recently his personality had changed. Gone was his former ability in war and diplomacy. In its place was uncertainty, accompanied by spells of brooding. He seldom appeared in public, but kept to the guarded interior of his enormous palace, consulting with priests and soothsayers or meditating alone. All right. So he was in a nervous state. All right. Because he knew about the prophecies, you know, of the scriptures. OK, the things that were going to happen. The people of his capital, Tenochtitlan, were deeply worried, too. For years, the omens had been bad. Strange lights had shone in the sky, which those lights are chariots, what the world calls UFOs. Temples had caught fire and burned uncontrollably. At night, a mysterious woman was often heard in the streets crying, "Oh, my beloved sons, now we are about to go." Yeah, well, that's kind of like, you know, like the scriptures where it say how Rachel was weeping for her children. You know, basically during this time, you know, in the Americas, the natives of our people in the Americas, the Israelites of the 10 tribes, they were about to be conquered by Esau. Okay, so it's, you know, they said they saw these different omens. All right, and it says, and fishermen brought to Montezuma a fantastic bird with a mirror on its head. When the emperor looked in the mirror, he saw armed warriors with a triumphant air of conquerors, riding on the back of monsters resembling deer. All right, so they never seen these horses before. Gad in North America, they knew about horses, but Issachar, they didn't know about the horses. Okay, and it says, what did these portents mean? Many Mexicans, including Montezuma, suspected that they foreshadowed the second coming of Quetzalcoatl, the legendary god king of the Toltecs, who had gone into exile over 5 centuries before and had promised to return from the direction of the rising sun, which is the east. Okay, and it says the scheduled time for his return was now approaching, and rumors flew that he or his emissaries had actually been sighted. They were heavily bearded, as Quetzalcoatl was believed to have been, and their weapons were thunder and lightning, which are those guns that they had. All right, so our people actually thought that Hernan Cortez, the Spaniards, they came to Mexico. Hernan Cortez and the men that were with him, they actually thought that was the Lord coming back with the angels. Okay, for some proof on that, this is the book here, The Devastation of the Indies. Okay, by Bartolome de las Casas. I'm going to go to page 32. All right, I'm going to read 33 also. We're just reading the highlighted part. Now it says right here, for in the beginning, the Indians regarded the Spaniards as angels from heaven, because according to the prophecy in their Aztec calendar, they thought it was Quetzalcoatl coming back, his second coming, and him coming with the angels. So that's why they regarded the Spaniards as angels from heaven.
Hey, because they regarded the angels, well, the Spaniards as angels or men from heaven because of their skin, okay? Porque los indios nativos de las Américas consideraban a los españoles como ángeles, okay? Pero solamente porque en el pasado también han visto el Señor. Y era una historia que en el futuro va a regresar.
And yeah, even today, our people look at Esau, look at that pale skin, that Edomite skin as being angelic or godly, when in fact they're the devil according to the Bible, but like brother said, because of Esau's skin, and it's been a long time since our people seen Esau, because they saw him going back to when they were in the land of Israel. We knew them as the Edomites, all right? But, them not having seen Edomites like that for a long time, they were looking different to them. So they thought they were angels, all right? But
porque blanco significa, como se dice, puridad, or white means pure. So that's a worldwide unknown piece of information there. All right, this is on page 33 at the top, and it says, and they committed other acts of force and violence and oppression, speaking about the Spaniards, which made the Indians realize that these men had not come from heaven. Yeah, so they was the devil, man. All the different atrocities they did to the so-called Indians, which are the Israelites, what they did to them here in the Americas, they knew that they weren't angels. All right. All right. We're in the book Mysteries of the Ancient Americas, the New World Before Columbus. We're going to go to page 38. Okay. So on page 38. Who was Quetzalcoatl? If the Lost 10 did not come to America and lose themselves racially in the genetic pools of certain Native American tribes, perhaps they simply visited and left an arguably more significant part of themselves, a legend, a promise, a covenant with future generations.
You know, which, you know, this right here, man, this is disinformation. You know, the Native American tribes are the lost 10 tribes. They are the Israelites, you know, so the Israelites didn't come here and mix themselves with the Native American tribes as if it's a different people. All right. That's them. The Native American tribes are the lost 10 tribes. OK, but, you know, getting to this point here, it says how they left an arguably more significant part of themselves, a legend, a promise, a covenant with future generations. Who otherwise was the white god that Montezuma imagined to have reappeared in the person of Cortez? Why is the feathered serpent god of Mexico, Quetzalcoatl, described as a white man who has promised to return and redeem all his followers? Why does the major god of Peru, Viracocha, also resemble a European? It is reasonable to speculate, as many have, that some very gifted human being came to America in ancient times, either by accident or design, and shared his more highly sophisticated knowledge with the Native Americans he encountered. All right, so, you know, the Lord did come here. He had to appear to them for them to have stories of him. But this is the point, like, you know, why is it every story that you hear about him, you know, you're hearing about him being a white man, you know, all throughout America, him being a European, you know, why is that, you know?
Yo voy a leer lo mismo aquí. ¿Quién era Quetzalcoatl? Ok, Quetzalcoatl. Yo tengo la traducción. Así el Welsh, así el perdido 10 no vino a América y perdice racial en las piscinas genéticas de algunas tribus americanas nativas. Tal vez simplemente visitaron y dejaron parte sin duda más importante de ellos. Pero ellos eran la misma gente, ¿ok? Los indios nativos, los 10 tribus de Israel, los 10 tribus perdidas, ¿ok? Y una parte sin duda más importante de ellos, una leyenda, una promesa, un pacto con las generaciones futuras, ¿ok? Los israelitas. ¿Quién, si no, era el dios blanco que Moctezuma se imaginó haber vuelto a aparecer en la persona de Cortés? ¿Por qué el dios serpiente emplumada de México, Quetzalcóatl, descrito como un hombre blanco que ha prometido regresar y redimir a todos sus seguidores? ¿Okay? ¿Quiénes son los seguidores de Quetzalcóatl o Jesús en este tiempo? ¿Okay? El electo, ¿okay? Los elegidos de Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai.
Khan and the elect will understand the truth, you know, so that's who we are doing this for. All right, now I'm gonna read down here. Okay, now it says right here, later perhaps when his sailing vessel was repaired, or he and his cohorts simply wanted to go home, he could have pushed off into the Atlantic, promising to return someday, you know, which is hey, you know, which is what the Lord is about to do. Okay, you know, so he had came here and you know, and showed himself to our people and taught them, you know, but because, you know, they were over here a long time, man. You know, that's why the Lord said he has other sheep not of this fold. All right, and then jumping down, well, reading right here, it says, over the centuries, this homely event could easily gain the sacred proportions of myth. So at least runs a theory that has gained popularity with many laymen. It quite conveniently, of course, puts the European of the tale in the position of a godlike, if not actual divine being. So yeah, that's why Esau lied about it. You know, well, that's why he put himself up as Quetzalcoatl, you know, because that's part of that colonizing, or that colonialism. All right, that's how he conquered our people, man, putting himself up as the Messiah. You know, they already came to the Americas with that, you know, white Jesus, but then, you know, even our people, you know, their God that they already believed in, you know, they already believed in the Messiah. You know, Esau made him out to be an Edomite like him, okay, like himself, which is another way he conquered our people, all right, through their beliefs. And it says, there is, however, a serious flaw in the theories of the white God as European. It is only after the Spanish conquest that Quetzalcoatl is depicted as having white skin. Right, so that's the point. Only after the Spanish conquest was he depicted as having white skin. All right, and it says, and then only in accounts provided by the Spaniards themselves. In local Aztec art, he is usually depicted as a feathered serpent or as a human wearing a mask or shown to have a black face, sometimes with yellow stripes and a red mouth. All right, but that's the point. In local Aztec art, he's shown as having a black face. You know, so why is it you have, you know, Esau putting himself up as Quetzalcoatl? All right, that's white supremacy, man, or Edomite supremacy. Okay.
It's a good point right here, where it says, but it is unclear whether these attributes were part of the Indian legend or the invention of the Spanish.
Right. You know, when you can answer that question for yourself, you know, it speaks for itself. You know, why would you believe in a God, or why would you believe in a Messiah that's not your own people? You know, yeah, it makes no sense at all. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit more here. It says, these are symbolic attributes. Black, for example, what was the color associated with priests. The god so linked with the color white was equally symbolic. Quetzalcoatl was the personification of the planet Venus as both the morning star and the evening star. Wait a minute, is not Yahweh Shai called the morning star in the scriptures? You know, and it says, in the later role with the suggestions of the sun setting in the west, of the coming of the night, and of therefore old age and decline and death. Quetzalcoatl was indeed identified with the color white, the hue of skeletons and corpses, because white is pure, you know, like the brother had mentioned. Nothing known of Aztec legend, though, implies that he had been a white man or a European in his human form on earth. Similarly, the Peruvian creator god Viracocha was not revered by the Inca as a man from another race. Right, so that's really the point, man. You know, this is the invention of Esau. You know, that's what you want to say out.
Yeah, I'll read this, the translated version of this, a portion of this paragraph here. Okay, and I got it here. It says, hay sin embargo un grave defecto en las teorías de la blanco Dios como europeo. Es solo después de la conquista española que Quetzalcóatl se representa como teniendo una piel blanca. Y solamente después de qué? Después de la conquista española, okay, se representa como teniendo una piel blanca. Y solo en las cuentas proporcionadas por los propios españoles en el arte azteca locales, que por lo general se representa como una serpiente emplumada o como un ser humano que lleva una máscara o demostrado tener un rostro negro, okay, a veces con rayas amarillas y una boca roja, okay, pero el punto está aquí, okay, porque algunas veces él se representa como un ser humano que lleva una máscara o demostrado tener un rostro negro, okay, pero en el principio Ok, sin embargo, un grave defecto las teorías de la blanco Dios como europeo eso después de la conquista española, ok, y es lo mismo en el tiempo de hoy, ok, porque tenemos el Jesús blanco o Jesús dulce que tiene la piel blanca, ok, pero cuando leemos las escrituras en el libro del Apocalipsis, capítulo 1, okay, tú puedes empezar a versículo 13 y leer abajo, okay? La descripción del Señor está allá.
Con, and we're going to get Revelation chapter 1, you know, verse 13 and 15, because it explains what Quetzalcoatl looks like, all right? Because Quetzalcoatl is whom the world called Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahushua, okay? But you know, it gave, these different colors that you will see painted on Aztec art, you know, to describe Quetzalcoatl. You know, it says that they are symbolic, but the Lord actually does have a dark-skinned face, you know, even though, it says that it's symbolic, you know, and the white, because they call him the white God, because white is pure, but he didn't look like this, okay?
Yeah, if he was shown to have a black face, why they... And if they believed that he was a white man, why did they leave him white and put black paint over his face to further, you know?
Con.
It just doesn't make sense.
Con.
He saw the devil.
He saw the devil, man. And they gonna pay for lying.
That's right.
All right. Now, this is the god of the month, Quetzalcoatl. All right. It's on a website called mexicolore.co.uk. all right, and it says God of the month Quetzalcoatl, and I'm just gonna read a little bit of this, okay? You know, it says name of God Quetzalcoatl, or feathered serpent. His names outside the Aztec cultural area include Kukulkan, Gucumetz, and Votan. His calendrical name was Nine Wind. All right, I'm gonna skip down here. I'm gonna go to right here where it says Geizes. Geizes Ehekato Wind Talahu Izza Kopan Tikutli, Venus, Xolothal, the dog twin or double of Quetzalcoatl, and the mythical human priest Ke Akato Toplau Zen Quetzalcoatl. All right, excuse me for mispronouncing some of these words. Okay, but the different guises that Quetzalcoatl was known by was the wind, which, when you go to the word spirit is breath, like air, okay? Like breath, like you breathe, okay? So he was known as the wind, which is synonymous with the spirit, and he was known as Venus, which is the morning star. All right, you get that scripture out? Well, Revelation 22.
Okay. Revelation chapter 22, verse 16. I, Yahushua, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
Right. So this is just some of the Aztec symbolisms that were given to Quetzalcoatl, which really is, Yahushua. Now they have different depictions of him. They're not saying that the Lord dressed like this or looked like this, but but the dark skin is on point. Okay, so this is him in his priest form, and the Lord is a priest. He's also known as Melchizedek in the scriptures. All right, and they have him, just different symbolisms here. The planet Venus, which in the scriptures that's known as the morning star. All right, and they have a dog, which when you go into the scriptures, a dog was known for being faithful. This is like you have Caleb, a man of the Lord, in the Hebrew that means dog. All right. And what is a dog? A dog is loyal or faithful, so it's a symbolism. All right. And they have a bird here, which, a bird in Central America and also Mexico is the quetzal, and they have the serpent. Okay. Which that's symbolic, a bird and a serpent. Okay. That's symbolic. And we got it in the scriptures. Matthew
chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
Right. So there was a commandment that Yahushua gave us to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, which is a bird. Okay. A serpent is known for being wise, and a bird is known for being peaceful. Okay. Or harmless. All right. Harmless, So this was all symbolic for Quetzalcoatl, okay? A feathered serpent, all right? But yeah, that was the point on this, man. Okay? Now, I'm just gonna jump around here because this is all taken from the same article. Just to show you some pictures of Quetzalcoatl, all right? It says picture 5, Quetzalcoatl, Ihe or Ketl. All right, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but this is taken from a codex. It's taken from an Aztec codex. All right, and to give you a close-up of it, that's it right here, man. And as you can see, he does not look like a so-called white man. All right, he's dark-skinned, and this is what it says in the book that we were in, Mysteries of the Ancient Americas. All right. Saying how he had a red mouth depicted as having dark skin or a black face.
And he has fringes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, the fringes there. So where did they get that from? All right. That's it, man. Okay. All right. It's another picture here, which it says over here, right? It says picture 8, bust of Quetzalcoatl. British Museum, a drawing. So wait a minute. So this from the British Museum. All right. It's a bust of Quetzalcoatl. So this is how they thought he looked. Okay. And this is a drawing right here. It says drawing of Quetzalcoatl, Ihe Catl. So this is taken from another codex. All right. And this is a close-up of it all. And these aren't the features of an Edomite. All right, so they have him elaborately dressed. Okay, they got another picture of him over here. All right, and this ain't. I mean, come on, man. That whole thing of Quetzalcoatl being a so-called white man came about through colonization. Okay, and that's it, man. That's really it. That's the bust again. All right, it's in the British Museum. Hey, why is it in the British Museum? Why isn't it in Mexico? Esau took it, man, because he don't want Jake to know the truth. He don't want you so-called Mexicans to know the truth. Okay. All right. This is another article here. It says, what happened to the Aztec gods after the conquest? So after that Spanish colonization, what happened to the Aztec gods? Well, you see, Esau got the bust in the British Museum. All right, he took you over, okay? And he said that he's God now, all right? Because he wants you to worship him. All right, we have a picture here. It says picture 9, Quetzalcoatl as the giver of knowledge and civilizer, which is in the codex, let's say Magli Abetchiano, all right? Which is another Aztec codex, all right? And you can look at them here. All right. And this is what the book described, having yellow paint, red paint, and a black face. All right. And he came over here and he taught them different things, man. He taught them agriculture, irrigation, excuse me. He taught them different things. And he taught them who he is, how he's the Messiah. All right. But that's really the point, man. Just, just showing different pictures, proving that Quetzalcoatl is not a so-called white man. Because even in the Aztec art, they don't have him depicted as such, all right? All right? They even have some art of him on a cross, man. Because they knew that he was the Lord. It's just that they lost a lot of the history, They lost it, man. But, hey, we getting everything back now, though. All right? We going to finish this off with the scripture in Revelation.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Right, so that's how Quetzalcoatl is depicted in the scriptures, and his name isn't really Quetzalcoatl. His name is Yahushua, okay? And according to what the brother just read, this is how he looks, A brother had put this together, but we had the scriptures here, Revelation chapter 1, verse 13 and 15, Daniel chapter 10, verse 5 to 6, all right? And that's how it describes him, okay? So the one you call Quetzalcoatl really is Yahushua, all right? And they was calling him Quetzalcoatl, which means feathered serpent, but because he was a wise man, and he was harmless. He came to them peaceably because they're his people, all right? It says how when Shiloh comes, unto him shall the gathering of the people be, all right? So the Lord is going to gather the different tribes of Israel together, man, and make us one nation again, all right? You had something else? All right, but that's it. All right, we hope this lesson was edifying to the listeners. All right, to you sincere Akim out there and the few sisters that watch us. All right, so we want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.